Hello, my beloved friends. So, I welcome you in the love and in the light of the one Creator. Today's session I have channeled the Galactic Federation in order to query about the secret space programs. Now, I have, like previously heard about this secret space program from many other people. I will not say their name because they may like put a strike on this video or anything like that. So the thing is, I have heard about the secret space program from other people. Okay, and one more thing that I have noticed is that what the Galactic Federation has said today does not match with what they have said. Okay, what the Galactic Federation is saying today is totally mind bending. In the beginning I listened to the session and I was like, what is going on? This is something that is going on in our planet. And how can they do this? I have always been like wondering, how can they do this to our people, right? So they have answered in the session, how the space force, how the like space program operates. And there is something known as the men in blacks. Okay, so they describe who are the men in blacks. Okay, now I have heard about the men in blacks from there was a movie known as the Men in Black, and they talk about the men in blacks, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing. Okay, so the thing is, the men in blacks are real, but they are not the same thing as depicted in the movies. The men in blacks that have been described by the Galactic Federation in today's session are different. Okay, they are way more like sophisticated, I believe. And the thing is, you have to listen to this session, which I will play now, after which I will explain to you in a detail how the what I understood. Okay, so here is the session.
We are the Galactic Federation of Light, and we communicate now. From our Saturn Council seat in your galaxy. In addition, before we share our thoughts and insights regarding the query placed by this instrument, you must remember to use your discernment to choose only those thoughts that resonate with your inner heart. Today, this instrument seeks to understand about the so-called secret space programs, wherein many entities have been enrolled and were previously enrolled and are still being enrolled from your planetary sphere to take part in many of the missions and activities, alongside the so-called negative-oriented entities. Please understand that we as the Galactic Federation have stopped any of the so-called exchange programs until the creation of a strong space force of your planetary sphere. Hence, there is another space program that is currently operating on your planetary sphere, which is known in your language terms as the Secret Space Program. Moreover, for this specifically, entities who are of the vibration above the green ray chakra activation and possessing Rh negative blood are selected and identified by the gray entities, who are the subordinates of the Orion negatively oriented entities. They are working in tandem with some elite entities who are termed as the men in black in your language terms, who hunt out entities, and they seek entities who have this potential and psychic ability of moving objects and who display uncanny abilities of talent much more higher at a degree compared to other entities of a similar age group. Such entities are chosen by the so-called men in black entities who are working for the Orions, and they help in the abduction process of these entities. Once they are abducted, they are enrolled forcefully into a secret space program, wherein these entities are put through a period in which they have to go through a training phase of around 3 years in your time-space continuum. In the facility that the so-called Orions had created in the Mars base, these entities on the Mars base learn many of the lessons of improving their psychic abilities, and they learn to influence other entities' vibrations of the indigo ray energy center. Since the other entities' vibrations can be changed based on the focus that these entities will present. In addition, when they become adept with these methods, these trained entities are fitted with a so-called device which can use their astral form or their inner self to take them on certain missions without their free will. Furthermore, many entities have also been taken physically through the various dimensions in order to propagate the agenda of the negative-oriented entities. Furthermore, please understand that we as the Galactic Federation and other positively oriented entities do not indulge in such secret space program enrollment strategies. We are of the opinion that only those entities who, using their free will and desire to perform in such exchange programs, were previously before the 3-year time-space continuum of the current timeline before the Galactic War occurred, were allowed to take part in such programs along with us. However, these negative entities, they disregard free will of any entity, and based upon these entities' selection, which depends on the candidate entity's psychic abilities and the so-called bloodline of Rh negative factor, which is a direct resemblance from the descendants of the Anunnaki bloodlines. Hence, such entities that are incarnated currently on your planetary sphere are sought by the men in black. And when these entities are abducted, a so-called replicate is created by the men in black entities. And this replicated entity is left in the so-called house of the origination of the entity that is being abducted. This is done in order to not allow other entities any idea as to what had happened to the original entity. Then such abducted entities are put through the training program. During such time period of the existence of the training program, this entity would be missing from its original place, and instead a replicate would be in its place. And this abducted entity would be put under tremendous amounts of stress, developing its psychic abilities even higher, and developing many of its astral abilities, such as entering into time loops and meeting with other entities using their astral form. Furthermore, these entities are also met with the so-called Orion entities and other reptilian entities who teach them how to spread negative agenda and influence the minds of people by using thought forms. Once these entities complete the various missions on such programs, they are teleported back to the Earth timeline, and in the Earth planet they begin to function. Currently, there are many entities who have already been abducted by the so-called Orion, Anunnaki, Grey, Reptilian Collective. And these entities, once they finish their so-called training program, are put back into the place from wherein they had originated from. The main purpose of these entities after being placed back into the original place on Earth is to disrupt the positive aspects and vibrations of other people of your planet by affecting the so-called imagination complex and thought forms. These trained entities can affect mind complexes of other entities around a radius of 700-kilometer range, using their psychic abilities, which can affect people's consciousness. Hence, these entities are put into places in various areas of your planetary sphere, wherein they can affect the consciousness of people. And based upon the consciousness disruption these entities perform, many people, due to these psychic intrusions, begin to get nightmares, and many will begin to see negative images in their mind complex. In addition, they will become negatively oriented by speaking negative thought forms and words inside their own mind complex and during interaction with other entities. This leads to the creation of more negatively oriented entities, which can be then influenced by the Orions to work for their bidding in spreading more negative agendas on your planetary sphere. These secret space programs, which are currently being operated by the negative entities, is created for the purpose of spreading fear and propagating the negative agenda in their final push to stop this planet from fully entering the fourth density, New Earth timeline. These negative entities desire to influence the imagination complex and inner thought forms of other peoples on your planet, which in essence creates the outward reality around each entity. Thereby, they are trying to influence the Earth planetary sphere in order to spread negative agenda and fear. They want to create negative images in the mind of peoples of your planet by using these entities who have been psychically altered and trained to disrupt positivity and spread negative vibrations into the mind complex of many other peoples of your planet. Using psychic influences. Furthermore, please understand that this has been going on without our permission or that of the Council of Planets, and has been in existence for approximately 80 years of your time space. We as the Galactic Federation are of the opinion that the only way to stop this is by spreading awareness amongst entities who are currently incarnated on your planet. Furthermore, we are of the opinion that this instrument who has requested this information must be very cautious when sharing this information, because the negative entities do not want the people of your planetary sphere to be aware of this fact. Therefore, we the Galactic Federation leave you now. Bye.
So my friends, after watching the session, I have understood that this is something deeper, okay? There is a deeper level of reality which is happening and we are not aware of. So what I understood from this is that the actual space force, the actual space program, okay? There was a space program which was being run with the Galactic Federation, but currently there are no space programs, okay? The Galactic Federation has said that the Earth planet needs to create a space force that is strong enough to protect the planet from the basic reptilians, right? We know this from the previous sessions. And the Galactic Federation said that the positive side, they are not conducting any more of these exchange programs. They used to do that in the past, but currently they are not conducting any of these secret space programs, right? So the negative oriented entities, we know the negative oriented entities who are the Orions, Anunnaki, the reptilian and the Greys. Not all, but those who have chosen the negative pathway, they have a strong hold on Mars. And these negative entities, what they do is they select people who have psychic abilities, okay? I believe they scan entities, like energy system or something like that, and they find out entities who have psychic abilities. Like they said, people who are able to influence matter, I believe, okay? So if people are able to, those people who are able to influence matter using their consciousness are going to be most likely targeted by the negative entities, and they what they do is they send in something known as the men in blacks, okay? Now men in blacks are in essence, I believe, humans, okay, who are working with the negative entities. I think they receive some benefits from the negative entities, and these men in blacks, they go to the place of the entities who are to be abducted and who are displaying psychic abilities. So they go to those places and then they abduct these entities, right? When they abduct these entities, what they do is they put them through a space like a program wherein the entities, they are psychically even more trained, okay? They are made even more like stronger psychically, so they can affect people's consciousness. Now I knew that we could affect other people's consciousness, okay? This is absolutely mind-blowing. And also they have said that they are put through a 3-year period of training program. So they go through 3 years of training to improve their consciousness, and after the program ends, right, before that, whenever the entities are abducted, there is a replicate entity which is left behind, they said. So supposedly someone is abducted, right? Then a similar looking entity will be left behind. This is absolutely mind-blowing, okay? So that the parents or the people who know the entity will have no idea that there was a switch. This is absolutely like scary to know. And also like this is, I believe, happening because we are not aware of what's actually happening in our reality. They are trying to influence us mentally and psychically. They are trying to put negative thoughts into our mind. So these entities, after they go through their training program, which lasts for 3 years, they are then sent back to Earth. And the Galactic Federation said that they will be fitted with some device. Okay, so they will have some device so that the Orions can control them from Mars, I believe, from a distance, because the Orions, they cannot directly enter Earth, as we know, because there is an energetic shield around our planet, and the Galactic Federation does not allow direct intrusion, right? So they send in robotic entities, or they influence people, who have who they can use to spread negativity. So these entities, once they go through the training period, okay, these people who have been abducted, they go through the training period and they become like psychically advanced. Okay, they can affect people's consciousness, and they are put back to Earth. And I believe they said that they can psychically influence people's consciousness for 700 kilometers. That is absolutely massive. Okay, like 700 kilometers. If someone can affect the consciousness of other people by just doing something with their brain or with their mind, it's absolutely mind-blowing. And also I have noticed this. Okay, like the negative entities, they want us to think negative. Okay, they want us to influence in a negative manner, because they know that our thoughts create reality. They know that our imagination and our inner dialogue can create the outward reality, right? So they want to influence this factor, and they are doing this by psychically inducing negative thoughts, negative imaginations. Have you ever felt like whenever you are sleeping, sometimes you see negative things? I believe these are those psychic attacks which are happening upon people. And now we are aware. Okay, from now on, what I am going to do is, whenever I think of negative, I'm going to say no more. Okay, I don't want this anymore. Orions and all of these negative entities, I don't want your influence. I'm going to think positive. Okay, so whenever I'm going to next time I'm going to encounter a negative thought, I'm going to know what is happening. I will know that this is happening. They are influencing me, right, in a negative manner. So I will in essence counteract with a positive thought. This is what I'm going to do. And I believe you should also try this, because this is the best defense, I believe. And also they said that I may be in a dangerous situation if I share this information. Look, okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, I need to help people to protect other people's consciousness. This is a huge war that is going on between the negative and the positive. The evil people, the evil entities, they don't want this information to be out, but I am sharing this so that people will know this, that they are trying to influence us subconsciously and psychically. Okay, so we can stop this. And I believe the negative entities, they cannot do anything, because I am well protected by all the positive beings. They cannot even touch me. So the thing is, this is what I learned from the session, and I thank you so much for watching the video, and also thank you so much for following me on Patreon, where I am putting daily channeling sessions. I thank you so much, and I see you in the next session.